Have you ever felt that you can't live without someone? That your happiness depends entirely on their presence or approval? This is called emotional dependence, a psychological trap that can silently control your life and your relationships. Today, in episode 11 of our Mind Trapped series, we will explore this trap in depth, uncover its hidden effects, and learn how to break free and reclaim your independence. If you've ever felt trapped by your emotions, this episode is for you. Emotional dependence is often misunderstood. Many people think it's just about being in love or caring deeply for someone. But there's a big difference between love and emotional dependence. Love, in its healthiest form, is about connection, trust, and mutual respect. It allows both people to grow individually while sharing their lives together. You feel secure, supported, and free to be yourself. Emotional dependence, on the other hand, is rooted in fear and insecurity. It's when your happiness, sense of self, and emotional stability rely on someone else. It can lead you to tolerate unhealthy behavior, compromise your values, or lose touch with your own needs. People in this trap often feel anxious when they are not with the person, constantly seek reassurance, or fear abandonment. While love strengthens and empowers, emotional dependence restricts and confines. Recognizing this difference is the first step toward freedom. Once you can see the signs of emotional dependence, you can begin to take back control of your own emotions and life. Now let's talk about the signs of emotional dependence. How do you know if you're caught in this trap? Here are some real-life examples that might feel familiar. 1. Constantly seeking approval. Imagine you plan a small outing with friends, but you feel anxious until your partner agrees or shows they're okay with it. Your mood shifts depending on their response. 2. Fear of being alone. You cancel plans or avoid doing things alone because the idea of being by yourself feels unbearable. 3. Overthinking every interaction. You replay conversations, messages, or small gestures in your mind, wondering if you did something wrong or if they might leave you. 4. Neglecting your needs. You give up hobbies, friendships, or personal goals to stay close to the person, even when it makes you unhappy. 5. Feeling incomplete without them. Even if you're successful at work or have other supportive people around you, you feel empty or anxious when they're not present. These examples are common. Many of us have felt one or more of these in our relationships. Recognizing them is the first step to taking back your emotional independence. Understanding the roots of emotional dependence is crucial. Often, it doesn't start overnight, it develops over time, influenced by experiences, relationships, and even childhood patterns. 1. Early attachment experiences. Many people who experience inconsistent care, neglect, or overprotection in childhood may struggle with emotional dependence later in life. If love or attention was unpredictable as a child, you might grow up seeking constant reassurance and fear abandonment. 2. Past relationships. Previous relationships, romantic, family, or friendships, that involve betrayal, rejection, or emotional neglect can reinforce a pattern of dependence. Your mind may unconsciously try to prevent the same hurt by clinging to someone. 3. Low self-esteem. When you don't value yourself fully, it's easy to rely on others for validation, approval, and a sense of worth. Emotional dependence can emerge as a coping mechanism to fill that internal gap. 4. Societal and cultural influences. Sometimes, social norms or cultural messages encourage people, especially women in some societies, to prioritize others over themselves. This can make detaching emotionally feel wrong or selfish. Recognizing these roots helps you understand that emotional dependence is not a personal flaw, it's a learned pattern. Awareness is the first step toward changing it. Now that we understand the roots of emotional dependence, let's talk about its consequences. Emotional dependence doesn't just affect your relationships, it can influence your entire life. 1. Strained relationships. Dependence can create tension, frustration, or resentment in both partners. The more you rely on someone for happiness, the more pressure you put on the relationship, which can lead to conflicts or even breakups. 2. Loss of personal identity. Over time, you may lose sight of your own goals, hobbies, or beliefs because you prioritize the other person over yourself. You might feel like you don't even know who you are without them. 3. Emotional instability. Your mood swings with every small action, word, or silence from the person you depend on. Happiness becomes temporary and fragile, and sadness or anxiety often dominates. 4. Reduced self-confidence. When your sense of self-worth is tied to someone else, you may constantly doubt your decisions and abilities, which prevents you from growing personally and professionally. 5. Missed opportunities. Focusing too much on one person can lead to neglecting friends, family, or personal growth. This can limit your experiences and potential. Recognizing these consequences is essential. Once you see the impact, you can start taking steps to regain control over your emotions, independence, and life. Now that we've explored the roots and consequences of emotional dependence, it's time to focus on solutions. Breaking free from this trap requires awareness, practice, and patience. Here are practical steps you can start today. 1. Recognize your patterns. Start by noticing when your mood, decisions, or self-worth depend on someone else. Journaling your feelings and triggers can help you see the patterns more clearly. 2. Develop self-awareness. Ask yourself questions like, why do I feel anxious without this person? Or, what am I avoiding by clinging to them? Understanding your emotions is the first step to controlling them. 3. Strengthen your independence. Reconnect with hobbies, goals, and friendships that bring you joy. Small steps, like spending time alone doing something you love, help rebuild your sense of self. 4. Set healthy boundaries. Learn to say no without guilt and respect your own needs. Boundaries create balance and protect your emotional energy. 5. Practice emotional regulation. Techniques like mindfulness, deep breathing, or meditation can help you manage anxiety and reduce overthinking about the other person. 6. Seek support. Therapy, coaching, or support groups can provide guidance and perspective. Sometimes an outside view is necessary to break long-standing patterns. 7. Celebrate small wins. Every moment you act independently or set a boundary is progress. Acknowledge and reward yourself for these steps. They strengthen your confidence and reduce reliance on others. Breaking free from emotional dependence is not an overnight process. It's a journey of self-discovery, patience, and empowerment. Each step you take brings you closer to healthier, balanced, and more fulfilling relationships. As we wrap up episode 11, remember that emotional dependence can quietly take control of your life, but awareness, understanding, and action can set you free. Reflect on the signs we discussed: seeking constant approval, fear of being alone, neglecting your needs, and recognize them in your own life. Understand the roots: childhood experiences, past relationships, low self-esteem, and remember that these patterns are learned, not permanent flaws. Now it's your turn. Take small steps every day to rebuild your independence. Reconnect with your passions, set healthy boundaries, and celebrate every small win. You deserve to be whole and happy, regardless of anyone else. And don't miss the next and final episode of our Psychological Trap series, The Pattern Repetition Trap. We'll uncover how unconscious patterns from your past influence your relationships and choices today, and show you how to finally break free and stop repeating the same cycles. You won't want to miss it.